It is a beautiful snowy day in the woods. I'm joined by this little man. There you go. Can you say hello?
Hello, I'm on a big tree.
He is. Look at that. And I've got another one sleeping. So this little man's going to play on his tree. It's an aeroplane. Yeah. And I just wanted to take a moment to do a walking with the word and share with you guys. So I've been thinking about judgmentality recently. We all know what it feels like to be judged. Kind of hurts, doesn't it? It sucks a bit, and it makes us think about ourselves. It can be quite damaging. It can be quite painful to be judged. And if we're honest with ourselves, we've all probably done our fair share of judging other people too, whether that's quietly in our minds or out loud in the things that we've said. So I want to talk about judgmentality for a few minutes, because judgmentality can be really dangerous, it can be really harmful, but I think there are ways in which we can make judgments which are good and positive and sometimes necessary. So let's unpack this a little bit. One of the harmful ways to be judgmental is actually when we're hypocritical. So we judge someone, but we've got worse things going on in our own lives. Jesus put it this way. He said, don't try and remove a speck of wood from your brother's eye when you've got a plank in your own eye, but first remove the plank from your eye so that you would see clearly to remove the speck of wood from your brother's eye. And what Jesus is challenging here is not simply the act of making a judgment, but it's doing it in a hypocritical way, judging someone for something small when there's big stuff going on in our own lives, when we've got bigger problems. And what Jesus says is first deal with those big problems in your own life, deal with the plank of wood so that you can see clearly why to remove the speck from your brother's eye. So there is a little bit at the end of this, when you think about it, where Jesus is actually encouraging us to, in a loving, caring, compassionate way, to help people with their problems, to remove these specks of wood, help people removing these specks of wood from their own eyes as a kind of calling to help. So I don't think making judgments is wrong in itself. It's more judgmentality and hypocrisy that are being challenged here. So the word judgment is to make a rational decision. So you basically weigh up the evidence, you think about the reasons, and you make a rational decision. That's what we mean by judgment. And making judgments is absolutely necessary. God's given us brains for a reason. Take this example. Imagine that you're walking home at night and you see this dark alley and there's this big gang of people and they look really menacing. Would you make a decision to walk a different way? And if so, in that process, are you making a judgment on those people? You are, aren't you? You're kind of making a judgment. You're not coming to any kind of decisive conclusions. You're not saying that they'll definitely attack me, or they're definitely horrible people, or they're bad people. I mean, there could be a bunch of lovely people as far as you know, but you're saying just based on the evidence, weighing up, looking at their countenance, their demeanour, the way they're dressed, the way they're hanging out, just to be on the safe side, I'm going to reroute. And that kind of judgment is perfectly acceptable. In fact, entirely necessary. We need to make judgments like this all the time. So, judgment.
I look like a little orangutan.
You look like a little orangutan. Do you agree that this little man looks like an orangutan? I think he does. So making judgments in situations like this is actually really essential. So we can't say that making judgments is wrong all out. And I think that's what Jesus is saying too when he talks about this idea of removing specks of wood. So what do you do if you're feeling judged by someone? How do you respond to it? How do you react to it? Well, for me personally, I struggle. It really hurts me emotionally, and I think I've got a lot of pride that it kind of grates on my pride, and I find it really difficult. But what if when someone's judging us, we stopped and we thought, is there any value in what they're saying? Is anything relevant? Could I learn and grow if I kind of took this on board? And we start reflecting on our own lives in the honesty and truth of the Holy Spirit, asking God to give us revelation about areas we might grow. And actually, if we respond this way to being judged, how would that change us spiritually? How would it change us emotionally? Rather than allowing ourselves to feel hurt, allowing the judgment to be a way of kind of looking through ourselves and examining ourselves more deeply, even if the judgment's being done with bad motives, even if someone's judging us to make themselves feel better or to bond with someone else through gossip, and they're judging in a kind of unpleasant way, why not stop and reflect? Why not use the fact that other people are making comments on your life to kind of start reflecting and asking the Holy Spirit to kind of bring insight and wisdom? Now, this is something that actually my beautiful wife Emma, she's so wise. She said recently, she said that, you know what, when people judge me, I struggle with it, but I just want to stop and look at my own life and see if there's anything I can learn from it, see if there's any way that I can grow. And I just found this so inspiring. So this idea is not from me. Often when I share something wise on these videos, I've heard it from my wife. She's very wise, very beautiful, and we love to talk. Or sometimes I hear it from other people too. But I love to.
And I love my mummy.
Oh, and he says, and he loves his mummy. Your mummy's beautiful, isn't she? Look at that muddy face. That's a boy who's enjoying the woods. So yeah, why not use it as a starting point for introspection and reflection and growth, and saying, okay, is there anything I can learn? That takes such humility, and you really have to lay your pride down. But I just think if you do that, you go into this kind of growth mindset. That's what we see in the Apostle Paul, the church leader. Paul puts it this way. He says, it's a little thing to me that I'm being judged by other people, because I know my own heart, I examine myself, I think, I reflect. But if there is anything, I take solace in the fact that, I'm not sure what that is, oh, it's my zip. I thought I had a stray thread or something. He says it's a small thing to me that people judge me, because I know my heart, I examine myself, I reflect on myself, and more importantly, God knows my heart. I trust God as a creator of the universe, that he knows me and he loves me and he cares for me, and he examines the innermost parts of my being. And that's a really powerful way to respond to judgmentality. So just in summary, two things.
I love you.
Oh, I love you too. This boy is just bursting with love. Mwah. So just to summarise, just to recap, okay, talking about judgmentality. Judgmentality can be done in a harmful way. It can be done to make yourself feel better, to harm other people, to put them lower than you, to hurt other people. It can be done in a hypocritical way. If there's kind of sin in our own lives and we judge other people for sin, maybe to make us feel better about our own shortcomings. And those are bad ways or bad reasons to judge, and bad ways to judge people, and they're harmful. But if you're being judged, this idea of kind of flipping it on its head and saying, okay, I know it's hurtful, I know it's painful, maybe the person that's judging me has their own mess to deal with, but I'm just going to use this as a point of growth and reflection and introspection. I want to leave it there today because I think this little boy's stirring, so he's going to need some love soon too. So we will see you guys soon. Can you say bye-bye?
I love you. Bye-bye.
I love you too. Bye-bye. We'll see you later. See if this little one's awake. Oh, is he awake? Nope, still got his eyes closed. Okay. Bye for now. Take care.